So, bruh, week 2 of the NFL is wrapped up now. We're getting ready to start week 3. How do you think we did on our picks last week?
Man, I feel like we did pretty good. Looking back at what we chose, seems like we did better than I thought we was going to do. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely there was a couple that we missed, but I'd say, for the most part, majority of what we picked was right. So that's pretty cool. Good,
All
good
right,
thing that
man.
happened.
We in our Chargers franchise. We 4-0 so far, man. That's not bad.
Oh
So let's
yeah.
talk about week 3. Let's do the week 3 prediction. See if we can get. I mean, like I said, our stats from our picks were pretty good. So let's see if we can keep that
Yeah.
rolling. We'll
And you
keep
had
track of the total.
one pretty big upset that you picked that was pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think it was gonna happen, but old Viking Nathan took care of the 49ers, so I was surprised. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, man, I had a gut feeling. I gotta trust that gut feeling. I should have bet some
So
money on it, I guess, if I really had a gut feeling. But
yeah, all this sports book stuff now going on. You probably could have. All right, so let's get into the picks for this coming week right here. We got our first Thursday night game. We have the New England Patriots versus the New York Jets, a divisional matchup.
all right, man, I'm gonna have to go with the Jets on this one. Um, Aaron Rodgers looked better this week. Their team started to kind of come together, start looking a little bit better than they have been. That first week was kind of rough, but I don't know about the Patriots, man. They've had some close games, gotten lucky a little bit. I feel like the Jets just have more talent and they're gonna do a better job. And Aaron Rodgers, like I said, is starting to look good again. So I think
Yeah,
he'll be the difference maker.
I gotta be honest, bro. This decision is a little tough for me. I ain't gonna lie, cause um, the Patriots have looked. I mean, they've obviously they got Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, and but they won their first game against Cincinnati, which was an upset. It surprised a lot of people. You called it again, by the way.
Yeah.
And then this past Sunday they didn't win. They lost in overtime though. They kept it that close and lost in overtime to Seattle by a field goal. So I don't know, man. They seem like they got a good enough defense where they hanging in some ball games and fighting. And the Jets, they struggled in week 1. I know it was against the Niners, but they struggled. And then last week or this past weekend, Tennessee was giving them a run for the money for the biggest part of that game. So I think I'm gonna do an upset right here, bro. I think I'm gonna go with the Patriots over
All
the
right.
Jets.
I mean, that's a safe pick, honestly. I mean, like, it is an upset situation, but I mean, when you asked me, I was thinking either way. I feel like it could go either way with either one of these
Either
teams,
way,
but I think I'm just leaning more towards the Jet just because I feel like
yeah,
their offense talent's there.
yeah, I feel you. But I think I'm just gonna ride with the Patriots and just see what happens.
All right,
So
buddy.
moving on to the Sunday slate of games. For the first matchup, we got the New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns.
Well, dude, I'm gonna be honest, man. I know last week, this past weekend, I said that Cleveland won't win as long as Watson's their quarterback, and I was wrong. So I'll admit that I was wrong. Still don't like him, and I still think he's not, the best quarterback. But I'm gonna give this one to Cleveland, man. Their defense is ridiculous. The Giants' offense is trash, and I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster right there. I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a very lopsided game. I think that
Okay.
Cleveland's defense will do a lot of the heavy lifting, but I think it's going to be kind of a blowout situation. No offense to the Giants, I feel bad saying it, but I mean they did look a little better this past week. Even Jones looked a little bit
Yeah.
better, but I don't know, man. I just don't think it's there for them. I think it's going to be the Cleveland Browns taking over the game early, and it's going to be an uphill battle the whole time for Daniel Jones and his team.
Yeah. I ain't got no arguments with you on that game. I agree with you. I don't neither one of them honestly is doing like that great, And but I feel like out of them two, Cleveland's probably gonna get the win out of them. So that's who I'm gonna go with also. So moving on to
Smart
the
man, smart
next,
man.
moving on for the next matchup, we
Oh.
have the Green Bay Packers and the Tennessee Titans.
Um, I don't know, man. I don't really see the Titans. I know, like you said, they've been kind of competitive, I guess, a little bit, but I still think that they're making a lot of mistakes and stuff. Green Bay's looked pretty good so far. I mean, they've had some good games, some close games, but they've looked pretty good, even without Jordan
Yeah.
Love, which surprised me because I did say, in our last prediction video, I did say that they would lose without Jordan Love, but I was wrong on that too. So I think that they can continue to roll along here. And Love, I don't think he's going to be playing yet, but the rest of their players kind of stepped up and took charge, and I feel like this will be a win for the Packers.
Yeah, that's another one I'm gonna agree with you with. Tennessee, I feel like is in the same category as the Giants. You know, they're towards the bottom barrel of the league this year, and I think Green Bay has got a Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl, but a playoff caliber team. And even though they might be without Jordan Love again, I think once he comes back, you know, they're gonna be just fine. So, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this
I like it. Look at that.
one.
Well, no, you picked the Patriots first, so we're two
Yeah,
for three on
we're
agreeing.
so moving to the next game. We have the Chicago Bears and the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. This is a tough one, really, and it wouldn't have
Yeah,
been tough if you'd asked me week one who would have won out of these two teams because the Colts looked really good in their first game, but man, this past game they just had, they did not look good at all. I don't
yeah,
know if it's just the team they were playing against just outplayed them or what, but I mean, you know, you just look at the stats for their team and Richardson, all of them. I mean, it just was not a good game. Um, but I feel like the Bears have just been kind of getting lucky and skating by on their defense. So I don't know, bro. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go with the Colts.
all right. Yeah, I'm with that. Cause they both are having poor quarterback play. I know Caleb Williams, obviously a rookie this year. Anthony Richardson, this is his second year, but didn't play majority of last season, so it's basically like his rookie season. And they're both really struggling right now. Uh, but overall, I think the Colts has this one. I think they got the better defense, and I think they're gonna pull it out.
I mean, this one of them games, man. That we could spend a few more seconds on here because it really, I don't know, like it's not really a clear cut winner. Like I said, I mean,
No,
Richardson looked so good in the first week. The whole team looked good. Like I said, they kind of went backwards this past week. It feels like they just didn't, they weren't hitting on anything. They were struggling all around.
right,
And I mean, Chicago, like I said, their defense has been kind of keeping them in the game. And Williams, in my opinion, I mean, he looked a little bit better than he has. I mean, he's still making a lot of mistakes and stuff, but if he can clean up on the mistakes and stuff, he's keeping them. He's doing a good job at what he can do, which is surviving in their terrible pocket that they have. But
right.
I don't know, man. This is a tough one, but I think I'm gonna stick with my Colts pick. But
Yeah, that's a good point you said. But yes, I agree. I agree with you. I think I'm saying the Colts for this game.
alrighty,
Um, so the next game we have the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. That's maybe gonna be a tough game too. I ain't gonna lie.
bro, I'm gonna stick with the Vikings all year, no matter who you ask me who they're playing against. I'm rolling with them. They beat the
I
Niners.
like it.
I don't feel like there's a whole lot more they need to prove. I mean, you look at the teams in the league, and the 49ers are probably considered one of the favorites in the NFC, if not the favorite.
Right.
The Vikings beat them. I mean, pretty, pretty like can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but pretty defiantly, I guess. They beat them pretty good, So I
Yeah.
think the Vikings will pull this out against the Texans here too.
Okay. So this one here, I think I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I'm gonna tell you the only reason why is because Jefferson did get hurt this past weekend, and he is, excuse me, he is questionable for the next game with Minnesota. So with him being a question mark right now, and not knowing how much practice time he's gonna get this week, or if any, or if he's even gonna play, I'm gonna say the Houston Texans.
Look, man, you done doubted me once with this pick. Don't do it again. I was right
Hey,
last time.
everybody gonna think I hate Minnesota because I keep picking
They think
against them, but
it's my favorite or
I
something.
just
The way I keep picking them.
yeah.
Nah, I mean
But
you give me a couple more weeks, I'll probably start picking against them because I think Darnold will hit his mid-season struggles. But
yeah,
I think for the beginning right here, man, I'm a ride high on 'em. I think they got some juice.
yeah, they do definitely have that. That's for sure. Okay, so that's a good picks. Next one's gonna be the Philadelphia Eagles and the hot New Orleans Saints putting up 40 points a game. Just whooped the Cowboys' butt, which I was happy to see. I ain't gonna lie. Make me feel better about my Carolina getting beat that bad.
Man, like I've kind of I've kind of been iffy with the Saints, and I talked a little bad about them on our last picks, and I feel kind of bad about it now because I regret that decision. I'm gonna give it to the Saints again, man. Philadelphia's defense still is not looking right. They had a rough game against the Packers. They did pull it out, but it was a high-scoring game, so the defense definitely didn't do a very good job. And I think that's just going to continue to be a thing throughout the season. Their offense always looks good with Jalen Hurts, but the defense is struggling. And the way we've seen the Saints so far, they've been an offensive juggernaut. They've scored on every single drive so far. So I think this will come down to a defense situation, and that the Eagles will lose because of their defense.
Okay. I want to say I'm gonna disagree with you again on this one. I want to go with the Eagles, and my reasoning is because I think the Eagles has got a more dominant defensive line that I don't think the have Saints have seen yet, and I don't think their offensive line is gonna be able to hold up against all their premier pass rushers that Philadelphia has. Um, so I'm gonna say that Derek Carr is gonna get sacked a few times this game, and I think Philadelphia's gonna pull it out.
All right, we'll see. We'll find out.
Getting some disagreements on this
Yeah,
one
this was
today.
a
It's
lot
kind of
so far. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. All right, moving on. The Los Angeles Chargers against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is another tough one for me, to be honest. And the reasoning for that is because we've seen that the Chargers can score, and we've also seen that Pittsburgh can't really score. But Pittsburgh's defense has kept them competitive, kept them in there. They're 2-0. This is a tough one.
And
I'm gonna give the
and
edge.
well
Go ahead.
this and I was gonna say and though will this be the week when Russell Wilson comes back for the Steelers,
That's
or
very true.
is there's got a possibility where he could come back and play and Justin Fields will sit on the bench. So if that's the case, that's gonna be a little bit more interesting, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't really know for sure yet what's gonna happen with that either, but I think, man, I think I'm gonna give the Chargers the edge on this one. I think their offense is better than Pittsburgh's offense. I know it's going to be a big defensive thing. The Chargers defense still looks kind of iffy. No offense, but it's kind of hard to judge when they played the Panthers last. I don't mean that in a bad way, bro. I'm sorry. It's just,
I
but
mean,
it's
yeah,
just their defense off of that game.
anybody playing the Panthers this year is making them look like an elementary school team that don't even deserve to be in the league. So if anybody want to
Yeah,
boost any stats up this year, can't wait till they play Carolina because they're gonna give it to you.
but yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to the Chargers, man, on this one.
All right, I'm gonna disagree with you
Disagree. I know
again.
you was gonna say that.
I'm going with Pittsburgh on this one, and not because the Chargers beat Carolina this weekend. Not because of that. It's just because I really feel Pittsburgh's defense is a lot better uh, the than the Chargers offense, and with T.J. Watt on the edge coming off, I think he's gonna give Herbert a handful to deal with, and yeah, I think Pittsburgh's got this one, and it's also in Pittsburgh, so I think that's gonna be another factor that's gonna help them.
All right. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You probably right about that one, but I'm gonna just stick with what I said. I don't want to change my mind. So.
Okay, so moving on to the next game we have Denver Broncos at Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, the Broncos are beating us up right now in this game, so maybe I should pick them for that reason. But I'm not going to. I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay. They look good. Baker Mayfield's feeling it, rolling right along. Broncos offense has been struggling, which is it's understandable with a lot of new things happening in that team. But I do think that Tampa Bay will. I think they'll win this one pretty easily. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I think it'll be a multiple score victory for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta agree with you on this one. I'm gonna say Tampa as well. Baker is playing lights out. He looks like he's back in college. He looks like he's having fun again. And when Baker's baking, man, he's there ain't no better quarterback to watch in the league than watching Baker. He's so fun, energetic. He plays with a lot of emotion, and I love that about him. And I'm happy to see him doing well. And Denver, nothing against Denver yet. It's just they got a rookie quarterback, and this is his third game in the league against that hard Tampa Bay defense. So I'm gonna say Tampa Bay wins that one.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I don't know, like I don't know what my expectations were for the Broncos, but I did kind of think that maybe their offense would have been a little bit better than it's been so far. But
Yeah,
I don't know
which I
what's
mean
going on there. I'll be
they
honest, I ain't really watched a lot of their gameplay and stuff a ton, but
right.
I don't know what's going on there. But
And like I said, they could have a rookie quarterback, Bo
yeah,
Nix, and they still got the whole season to click and gel together and play together. But only time will tell how that plays out. But I say right now, yeah, I think Tampa would be the better option. Moving on to the next game is the Carolina Panthers against the Las Vegas Raiders. I didn't say Oakland this time.
you thought about it, though, didn't
I did think about it. It's hard, man. It's hard.
you? Well, you know, I'm not just saying this because you're my boy and the Panthers are your team, but the fact that we know that Andy Dalton's going to be playing now, I feel like Vegas is kind of, they've not done bad, but they have struggled in some games, and it's been a lot of very close calls for them. Carolina's defense, I think, is better than people realize. They've been one of the most competitive parts of, the Panthers team.
Right.
And I think that, like I said, with a little bit of change on offense now, Andy Dalton coming in and playing, that they might be able to take off and actually score some points and do really well. So I'm gonna give it to the Panthers, man. I know I've been wrong every
Okay.
time I've said it so far, but I have a feeling, that things are about to turn around for their team. Like I said, and the defense has been looking pretty
Well,
solid already. So
as as a as your best friend and brother, I appreciate you saying that. But I'm gonna try some reverse psychology on this one and see how it goes. I'm gonna say the Oakland. I mean the Las. Dang, I did it again. The Las Vegas Raiders is gonna win this one. Minshew's Magic is playing lights out. He's playing really good. Him and Devontae Adams. Brock Bowers just got a really good connection. Their defense is okay. Their defensive line's really good. Their cornerbacks and stuff could use a little work, but yeah, I'm gonna try a little reverse psychology, man. I'm gonna go with the Raiders on this one.
alrighty, I
First
mean,
time, first time Andy's coming in off the bench. Like I said, Bryce just got benched today, so he might. He's been a while since he's been a starter in the NFL, so it might take him a little time to get going. And this is gonna be a tough game on the road in Las Vegas. So yeah, I think
bro,
the
it's
Raiders are gonna take it.
Vegas.
It's so to me that don't even make no sense, bro. They so many names changed on these teams.
I
Like the
know.
Rams, I still want to call them St. Louis. I don't know why. It's just
It just sounds better,
crazy.
man, than L.A.
Yeah.
L.A.
Same
Rams. I
thing with
think the St.
Washington. I
Louis.
want to I want to call them the Redskins so bad, but it's not like that no more. So it's
Yeah.
really hard to get out of that old habit. But anyway, all right. So I appreciate you picking the Panthers, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean, I'm
try.
not just saying it because, like I said, the team. I have a kind of a gut feeling with them. So
Yeah, I
I've been
hope it's
listening
true,
to my
man. I
gut
hope
so
they do
far.
good.
So I'm gonna keep doing that now.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Oh no
Good
way.
play. Good play right there.
No way. All right, what's up? What's next?
So next we have the Miami Dolphins at Seattle Seahawks.
All right. Oh man, this is a tough one too. Obviously I don't like Seattle, but I'm a little scared to pick the Dolphins until we know what's going on with Tua or what's going on in the quarterback situation. Now they haven't, as of right this minute, they haven't decided on anybody to be the quarterback.
I
So I
thinking, I thinking to have. I'm thinking, bro, but don't take my word. But I'm thinking they're Skylar Thompson, the backup. I think he's going to get the start this week against Seattle. Is what I'm
Well,
hearing.
if that's the case, and that's kind of where I was headed anyway, no matter who they put in right now, unless they have some spectacular, quarterback come in, it's going to be somebody trying to learn a system within the short amount of time, and or
Right.
it's going to be some random backup or something. So I'm gonna give it to Seattle for that reason. As much as I hate to say it, it really burns me up,
Yeah.
but uh, I think the Seahawks will win. They've looked okay, they've had a lot of close games and stuff. Miami has a lot of good weapons on both sides of the ball, but I feel like just because the quarterback situation there, we're not sure what's going on. And the team, I
Yeah.
mean, might be a little low on morale after last week and stuff. So
Yeah, and
I
that's
think Seahawks
and
will get them.
playing in Seattle, they got one of the hardest crowds to play against, so that's gonna be even tougher. Um, but yeah, I mean, both of these teams are kind of like missing some key players. Obviously with Tua and his head injury, and then Seattle with Kenneth Walker being out last week, and he may be out again this week. He's still questionable right now, so that's very possible. So that'd be a big key piece for Seattle. But I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna say just for now because Skyler, everybody's unsure how he's gonna play, and he did look a little uncomfortable when he came in and finished the game for Tua the other day. Which he may be different now that he has a whole week of practice. But I'm gonna go with Seattle. I think that's a safer bet.
All right, man. That sounds good to me. I don't want them to win,
All right.
but like I said, trying to pick smart. So
All right. Now we headed to the Baltimore Ravens is at Dallas, Texas against the Cowboys.
man, I same thing I said with some other stuff so far. This might would have been a harder choice if you'd asked me a couple days ago. But I'll be honest. I think I don't know. Cowboys kind of got exposed or something. Maybe it just it's so fresh on our minds. But I think that the Ravens will win this. They're probably hungry for a win. They've had a rough go so far. Um,
Yeah.
and the Cowboys, like I said, it looks like they might have been frauds again for every year they are. Uh,
Right.
so I mean, it to me it feels like this is probably gonna go for the Ravens.
Yeah. I That's a valid point, but I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys again this week, bro.
All right.
And my reasoning is because as good of a team as Baltimore is, bro, they're still 0-2 right now. They've lost both of their first two games, which I don't think anybody seen that coming. They're playing really good and they're playing hard, but they just can't finish the game yet. And until I can see them pull out a win, I don't know. I'm iffy about the Ravens. But I think Dallas is going to come back with a vengeance. They're going to be pissed off from getting embarrassed to New Orleans, and so I'm going to say the Cowboys.
I feel you. I mean, that's kind of like the reason I was picking the Ravens. Is like I said, I kind of feel like they're hungry for that win, and they uh
Yeah,
they need it. I mean, 0-2 is not a great way to start for a team that's supposed to be
for that
playoff,
caliber, yeah.
yeah, like team. So,
Right.
but you're right. I mean, this is one I do feel like has the potential to go either way. Could be a big scoring game. Could be a very low scoring game. A lot of variables in this game, but
Yeah.
I think the Ravens want it more.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. All right. So moving on to our next one, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Rams at the Los Angeles Rams. Who you thinking on that? It's another divisional game.
Well, I'm gonna just give a little shout out to my team here real fast to the Cardinals, bro. We uh we embarrassed the Rams, and it makes me feel really good because I literally
Look at me
think
fighting. Yeah,
I
that's
think out
funny.
of all the teams in our division, out of all the teams in the league, the Rams has got to be on my top three I can't stand list. So I'm happy
Okay.
that Arizona embarrassed them. I think they're about to
Yeah,
get
they do.
embarrassed again. I think the Niners are about to do the same exact thing that we did, maybe even worse. Um, Rams are missing their two main receivers now. Cup left the game early, and I don't think it sounded too good for him. They haven't.
What
So
do
I don't.
you know what kind of injury that was? I know I seen where he had got hurt, but I didn't see what it was.
Yeah, they haven't said anything yet. We're still kind of early in the week right now, but I'm sure by the time the weekend gets here, they'll know for sure. But
Yeah,
what I think I seen something that maybe he was having a hard time. He didn't come back out at the half in our game. I know that for a fact. So
right.
that's not really a great sign that he'll play next
No,
week. So with him out, with Puka out, I mean they got a lot of young talent stuff. Somebody's going to step up and make a difference, but it's going to be kind of hard to do when you're playing one of the top defenses in the league too. So
right,
I just don't
right.
see it happening for the Rams. I think they're going to get embarrassed again. Unfortunately for the fans, and the 49ers are going to make
Yeah,
them look weak.
yeah. I'm not. I don't think they're gonna make them look weak necessarily, but I think the same thing as I said with the Cowboys for the Niners. They're gonna come back angry and mad, pissed off that the Vikings embarrassed them, and I think they're gonna let the Rams have it. Uh, so I'm gonna say the Rams.
Alrighty, that's
So
kind of
moving on
weird.
to our moving on to our next game. That's your game. We're gonna have Detroit Lions at Arizona Cardinals.
I can't get over you just saying the Rams a second ago. Uh,
What do you mean?
yeah,
I said the Niners
I
for
know you're
that
just
game.
wrapping it up,
Okay.
but yeah. So this game, you know, it's gonna be a
It's gonna be
tough
a
one
tough
too,
one. I
man.
feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I can be honest about the flaws of my team. And I'm gonna say that I'm a little surprised with how we did against the Rams. I know the Rams weren't the greatest at the moment, but our defense has been kind of an issue for a while now. But they looked pretty good. But I just don't know if we can hold Detroit the same way that we did the Rams because they got so many uh, high explosive players or however you want to say it on their team.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't want to bet against my team, so I'm gonna say that we're gonna win, but it's gonna be very, very close. Come down, nail biter. Good lord. Uh,
Wow.
Nail
That was
biting
some good
situation.
effort. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a close game too. Detroit's coming off of the loss to Tampa, and then y'all are coming off of a blowout win, which y'all look like y'all was hitting on all cylinders. Yeah, I agree. I think that's gonna be a tough game. Oh, nice, nice. Um,
All right,
but
that's fast.
like I said last week, I'm going with my brother's team. I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. Take the dub.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah. So moving on to the Sunday night game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at Atlanta Falcons.
All right, bro, you ready for this one?
Yes,
You
sir.
didn't know what I'm about to say when I said that already. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know what it is, but the Falcons. I have some kind of weird, I don't know, just this weird gut feeling about them this year. I know they started off rough, but I think they're gonna beat them, dude. I think they're gonna surprise everybody and they're gonna beat the Chiefs in prime time. Uh,
I would I
you're
would
gonna strongly
love
disagree. I know you are.
no. I would love for that to happen. But after seeing the ending of this last game with the Chiefs and the Bengals, and seeing how all the referees are wearing red and white stripes, I think the Chiefs are going to win because I mean it's hard to. The Atlanta's not going to be able to beat the refs, and I think the refs are maybe giving the Chiefs some plays that shouldn't be. This is my just personal biased opinion, but I think the Chiefs are going to win just because they got extra help.
Yeah, I mean that's a sad but true point. A big point in my favor though that I was going to say is the fact that the Chiefs just lost their running back Pacheco,
Yeah,
um,
they did.
and I don't know who's going
Yeah,
to fill in for that spot yet. They haven't fully decided. I don't think. I know they're looking at a couple options,
and
but
I think they got a rookie. They got a rookie on the chart, and And that's about it, honestly, because Edward Salaire's still on IR right now, so
Yeah, and they
they're
got
running thin.
Sam G, whatever his Sanji, I can't ever say his name, but
Samaji,
Samaji, yeah,
Chamaji
Perrine or
Perma,
whatever.
yeah, which I never
Uh,
thought he was any that great anyway.
yeah, I
So
mean,
I
he
mean,
has
I don't know.
potential to do okay, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. And I just, without that running game rolling there, it's going to be a lot of, a lot of risky, probably offense. So I
Oh
think the
yeah,
Falcons might, I think their defense might help them out, and they might pull out a win, surprise everybody
yeah, I like it. I like that pick, but I'm just going with the Chiefs just because,
because of the refs, a
because
little
the
ref
refs
ball.
and I got a little bit of hatred towards Atlanta,
I
so
understand.
I don't like picking them anyway in general. So all right, so moving on to the Monday night games, we got two Monday night games this week. A little unusual, I think, being this early in the season. I mean, I don't really remember being two games this early before, but maybe something new they're doing this year. But the first matchup is the Jacksonville Jaguars in Buffalo at Buffalo Bills.
Well, man, I'm just going to throw my name. I think the Bills are going to win, but the big reason for that is I'm not sure what's going on with Jacksonville. Depending on the person you ask, even their fans, you ask their fans, they might blame it on Trevor Lawrence. They might blame it on the offensive line. They might blame it on receivers dropping the ball. But that's the issue right there. Is that there's so many problems surrounding the team right now that it just don't feel like they're not clicking at the moment. Like you said, they're not jailing, like you said earlier.
Right.
So until they get to that point to where they're like, they're consistently doing a good job with each other, I just don't know that.
Oh
Oh my
my
God.
goodness, that
Sorry.
was unexpected, bro.
Oh, bro, I was struggling.
Touchdown.
Um,
That was that was pretty cool.
Look, you know what? Actually, as we're talking, sorry, this is random. I just popped in my phone. Cooper Cup is expected to miss multiple weeks. So going back to our Rams discussion earlier, there's some
Okay.
breaking news for anybody that sees this. They'll probably see the news before they see the video. But breaking
Yeah,
news.
it's popping up on my phone. It's ankle. Yep,
Yep.
it's ankle. It's
So
the problem.
that's going back to our Rams
And
discussion earlier.
I think that was a lingering issue to begin with. He was dealing with it
Yeah.
in the off season, so
He's getting
it's
up there in
unfortunate.
age and stuff, man. Start things like that start to
Yeah.
happen a little more. But, anyways, going back to our discussion here with the Jaguars, like I said, there's just so many issues on the team. And like I said, you ask a fan, and a Jaguars fan, they're gonna tell you every one of them's probably gonna tell you something different. It's gonna be the coaching, the offensive line, Trevor Lawrence, whatever it is. I don't think it's Lawrence. I really don't personally, and I don't know that I would blame it on the receivers. They have dropped some balls and stuff, but I mean that happens in the game sometimes.
Yes.
Um, but once until they figure out what's going on with their team, I think they're gonna have a rough season, and that's unfortunate. And the Bills, I mean, we've seen that they're in the zone. They had a great week against Arizona week one. They had a good win this past week here. Um,
Miami gets Miami.
yeah, I mean, I know it was not the best circumstances, but they looked good in the game regardless. And I think the Bills will. I think they'll stomp this one out pretty good too.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Bills also. I bet it against them last week. Buffalo. I went with Miami, and I ain't gonna lie, the Bills surprised me, man. James Cook come out with 3 touchdowns. He looked amazing, and I
Nice.
think that the Buffalo surprised me. Josh Allen surprised me with him being able to throw the ball and move the ball down the field without having Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis. He threw it to the open receiver, and it was the Shakira a lot for last week's game. The first game, Coleman was open a lot, so he's being versatile, spreading it around a lot more, which is cool to see. Not one receiver getting mad because they're not getting the ball, so they're playing better. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo too.
Oh, nice interception, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, yeah, I
Oh my
mean,
God, that guy's fast.
I just want to, talk about that you brought up right there. That's, the Bills. I mean, just for a second here, we talk about it. It's impressive, no one knew who their wide receiver one was going to be going into the
Ah,
season. He doing a toddler dance.
is that it?
But that being said, man, it kind of seems like Josh Allen don't need a wide receiver one. He's making them all wide receiver ones. It seems like
Yeah,
week to week it's going to be a little different. So it's kind of hard for fantasy
right.
purposes or betting purposes to pick who's going to be the person getting the ball the most. But
Yeah,
for a Buffalo fan, it's got to be fun, having those options on the team. So that's kind of cool.
absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. A lot of people was unsure of Buffalo this year. I got to be honest, I was one of those people that was not sure how it was going to go, but they're surprising me so far, and I don't see any reason why they don't take care of the Jags this week.
All right, man. One more
So
game.
one more. So our final Monday night game this week is Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, I ain't gonna do anything crazy. I ain't got no crazy picks this week against the Bengals. I think they're finally going to get their win. They deserved it against the Chiefs, like you said. They were so close, man, and like it got taken from. Them. They got robbed. But
Right.
I think they're gonna bounce back this week. Which I mean, there's not really nothing to bounce back from. They didn't really. They said they did a good job, but they got screwed out of the win. So I think they'll continue to do as good as they were doing, and I think they'll get the win here. And Washington's looked okay. They've looked all right, but it's been a lot of field goals for Washington, not a lot of scoring. So the
Yeah.
Bengals defense, is not, they're about middle of the pack defense, but I think it's going to be a hard time for Washington. So Bengals
All right.
should win this one.
All right. Well, I got a hot take, bro. I'm gonna
Washington's going to win.
say I'm gonna say the Washington Commanders is gonna beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and I don't know, man. I just like you said last week. I just got a feeling about them. Um, they haven't looked great in these first two games, but they have improved a little bit, and I think. I've been betting against Cincinnati all year this year, and I don't know, just Cincinnati just feels different, man. Good pick, bro.
Man, we both got one this game.
Cincinnati. Um, there's
Oh,
something off with I don't know what it is. There's just something off with Cincinnati this year, and something's not right with their organizations, and you can feel it. It's obvious. Um, so I think Washington is going to come together and be able to pull a big upset and beat the Bengals.
all right, bro. I like it. That's it, man. That's our picks. We'll have to
That's it.
revisit this and see what we think, what we did. Say last week was pretty decent, but we'll maybe we'll get a little more official and keep a record of what we got and kind of keep track of who's got the most picks right and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we'll have to make a little board up so we can
yeah,
keep
something
keep
like
it
that.
up.
Yeah.
So that'd be
So
pretty cool.
for the podcast listeners, we appreciate you tuning in for our week 3 predictions. Um, just keep listening along. If you want to watch along, you can hop on YouTube to see the gameplay that goes along with it. And yeah, we appreciate you guys listening.
Oh yeah, hope y'all have a good week. And I know it's raining a lot this week here from the cyclone, so in the eastern part of the United States getting wet. But y'all have a good week. Be safe, and we'll catch you on the next video.
All right, video watchers. This was a high scoring game, but it is done
It was.
right there.
It was a
Time's about to
little nerve
tick.
wracking
Boom.
there towards the beginning,
I
but
ain't gonna lie, man. We was getting beat at the first half, and I was scared, but I dialed in. I know my picks might have been a little goofy because I was zoned in and I was trying to win this game.
you had a couple amazing plays though too on offense. That was
Justin
crazy. Some
Herbert, bro.
crazy
That's the
throws.
man right there.
Justin
So
Herbie, bro.
yeah. I was gonna ask you a question before we get done here. Which Monday
Okay.
night game you think you're gonna tune into out of those two options?
Uh, Probably the first one. I ain't gonna lie, just 'cause it's Monday
Buffalo.
night. Gotta get up early for work. So yeah, probably that
Oh yeah,
first
it
one.
is a different time too. 7:30. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause the first one starts a little bit earlier than that late one. So
Yeah, I think I'm agree with you. I'll probably watch that one too. But alrighty. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We had a good game. Look at them stats right there. 339. This is a high scoring game for
yeah,
real.
y'all
But
almost had the same three.
almost. Yeah.
Bo had 355. You had 339,
Yeah.
83, 63. That's pretty good.
Alrighty. God.